Okay, good afternoon. I have the lovely Janet Taylor with me, and today we are talking about her business because she is a leader in her industry. And of course, this series is about leadership. It's about the kind of undiscovered gems that are out there, or hidden gems. So some of the gems you may not know about, but today you get introduced to one of my primary gems. I really believe this lady has a fantastic business, and we've been friends for a while. So a minute, we haven't seen each other for a while, but now we've seen each other on Zoom, and it's just my pleasure to introduce Janet Taylor. So
It
welcome.
is it is a pleasure to be here with you and to actually see you again. Like you said, it has been
Yes,
years since we really talked. So I'm excited to
absolutely.
be here.
Of course, and I am excited to have you. So I have some kind of industry type questions for people who want to know more about your business. So my first question is really, what does Janet and Taylor do? What do you sell in your business?
We sell living an organized life. My
Wow.
motto is we create spaces to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. And we do that by helping people get organized, whether in the office or whether at home.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, everybody could be more organized, right?
Yes, yes, because it saves you time, it saves you money.
Yeah, it's an absolute win-win. But I think sometimes us lazy people, we get people to come in and help in different ways, or we buy things, and sometimes it's the wrong things to get that organization. So I'm glad you're doing that kind of business. How long have you been in this industry? How long have you been doing what you do?
I've been doing it for 28 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So that in itself says that you're a leader, right?
Yeah, 28 years. I'm looking forward to year 30. I've already got my team thinking of creative things we can do to celebrate that. But yes, 28
Yeah.
years. And I've loved it all. I mean, I'm not going to say it was all easy, but I truly haven't loved this journey.
Oh, well, I kind of bow to your discipline, and your tenacity in keeping everything going. That cannot have been easy. What are some of, do you want to give me one highlight of the 28 years for you? What has been a major highlight?
I think the major highlight was when I received the email from Rachel Ray. And at first, I thought it was kind of like a spam email. I'm thinking this cannot be true. And it turned out to be true. And a week later, after an email, I was actually in New York filming for her show, where actually I was crowned by one of the men who I think is a leader in the industry, Peter Walsh, the clutter-free queen.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Wow, that must have been so exciting.
It
Yeah.
was truly exciting.
Did you go
It's true.
shopping as well? Did you do
No,
everything?
you know what? I think I was so, you know how sometimes you get yourself worked up because I was nervous. I was going on TV and, I really didn't have an idea of what, because I knew there was going to be another organizer on the show, but I didn't
Right.
realize it was going to be, you want to be crowned and you were going to give it, a little trophy. And by the time it was all
Hmm.
over with, it was like my body just wanted to relax and I just wanted to come back home. And, I had to share it with like a couple people. Couldn't share it with too many people because the show hadn't aired, but I shared it with two
Yeah.
people I knew who would not share it with anybody else. So, and
Oh,
you can see the little crown. There it is right there.
yeah. How
Crown.
awesome. Well done. You deserve that. You're a
Thank
queen
you.
anyway. Queen of
Thank you.
organization. Queen anyway. Queen anyway. So we know that you've had a lot of longevity in this business, and you're doing amazingly well, coming up to your 30th year. So what kind of marketing have you done for your business? How do people kind of get to the actual products that you deliver? Like, tell me about it, because I know organization is being more tidy, getting things in the place, getting them in order. But what does that really mean in terms of your business?
Well, in the beginning, it was more or less, handing out flyers, but then things transitioned to now we're at a place where we do a lot more social media, but it's always been word of mouth. And also in the beginning, I was really going out and doing community workshops in the specific zip codes where I knew my target and ideal client lives. And by doing that, people saw my name in the brochure, people would come to the workshop, and they felt comfortable with me coming into their homes in regards to doing some organizing as well. And also, a lot of it was people began to see me, they began to hear what I did, and they would approach me and like, well, would you come to my office? And a lot of times when I would come to people's offices, then I would be going to their homes within a few months.
Right. So are people generally embarrassed about their clutter? Well, how do people take it? I mean,
I
it's
think
very
most
personal.
it is personal, and most of the people who are my clients are at a place where they know if they want to go to the next level, then they really truly need to get organized.
Right.
So it's not really about an embarrassment. And plus, I come to them knowing that, and I let them know, I understand, you're running this business, you're trying to run the home, you're doing so many other things in the community, and you just need a second set of hands just to come in and really save you time and money in order to do it for yourself.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So tell me about the goals, because when I speak to my leaders, we are always talking about goals. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What are your big goals? What's the bigger picture for this business? So can you tell us about your goals? What are they?
Well, my goals have kind of changed over the years. I mean, now because of everything that's going on in the world, I do a lot more webinars, which I enjoy doing because I get to reach a bigger audience, a global audience. But also, as I look at year 30, and I know that, as someone who actually physically does the organizing, I know that I have to kind of slow that part down. So I'm really looking at increasing my podcast, which I've done for, so many years, and I enjoy doing it. So that's what I really want to do, is to increase the reach of the podcast, to let people know that they can live life with just a few strategies here and there.
Okay, wonderful. So I love the podcast idea because that's how we met, right?
Yes, we
Years
did.
ago, that's how we met. And I'm now trying to get back into podcasting after a little break. But yes, I love that. I love that you've got some goals. I wanted to ask you about your challenges and frustrations, because in this business it isn't easy, is it? I know that when I was podcasting years ago, there came that point where you get to burn out and you think, I've done enough. There's nothing more to talk about. Mine was relationships, but there's nothing more to talk about. Now let's have a break. Do you get to that burnout stage, and what are the challenges and frustrations of your business, really?
I think a lot of my frustration and my challenges is that sometimes, I would of course physically just get tired because the project would be so much, and then I'd bring my team in. But also a lot of times it's just really trying to come up with the next best thing, because
Right.
sometimes in order to, it's like feast or famine, because you have to continually get out and work the business. But also I'm learning now that yes, as I do the work the business, but I need to take a moment back to have that creative time. So now I'm okay with taking either a weekend or a week off, just to
Brilliant.
kind of step back and do some planning and do some creative thinking or do some strategic, you know things in the business. But before it was like, I gotta work 24 hours. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I think it's, doing that as well. And also, I think some of the challenges for me is also, I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser, and it's really surrounding yourself with some key people who can come beside you and, help you along the way. And you feel confident enough in, whether, you give them an assignment or they help you with things like legally or financially and managing that you're okay with it. Because I've been through, and that's something that is interesting. Some other business owners and I were talking about, is about how many people sometimes we go through when it comes to just our taxes. Because you really have, that's a frustration. But now I'm really happy that I have a firm that's managing, it's been managing for a few years now. So that was one of those frustration moments as well. It's like, okay, can I get somebody that's really going to help me manage this and me not get those surprise letters?
Yes, absolutely. I get that one. I think a lot of people out there who are leading in their businesses will understand that. That will really resonate for them. And are you, yeah, you talked about getting the right team in. Are you able to delegate? Because I think that's something that if you get on top of it and you get the right people to delegate to and you can trust them, that can really work for you. So, how has that been, the whole letting go of your baby and entrusting it in someone else's hands?
And, I have someone who is, I mean, he's basically like my right hand because he's the one that puts things together for me. And one of the qualities I love about him is he is a perfectionist because he will put things together. He'll step back and like, that's not right. And he'll put it, he'll redo it. And I love working with him because I could just like, I need this put together and just leave it and know when I come back, it's already set up and all I have to do is just put things together. And then there are times when I work with team members who actually need to go in and actually put like shelving and in the wall and do that. And I love it again because they're perfectionists. I'm learning when it comes to things like that, I need those perfectionists. That's something I
Yes.
had to learn because they'll step back and they will tear things apart until it is perfect. And so, that's one of the areas. And even with just my branding and my social media, I've been working with, did the math and I'm thinking like 13 or more years, but I love working with her because I'll share with her like what I want to do and then I'll just let her go. I call it in her creative lab and she'll always come back with something that's really reflective of what I want to portray out there in the world.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of your business. What do 28 years ago when you started, what triggered this idea? What made you get into, getting people to organize spaces? What triggered that?
It was a layoff because I was working for a job. At that time, I really loved, but of course, I felt that all this happened because it was time for me to just move out of that. And I was laid off. And so I had to think of something to do. And I wanted to take more control of my financial future because before the layoff, I was going to move out. I had bought everything that I needed to buy and I was going to move out. But of course, when the layoff came, I had a discussion with my mother and she was like, okay, do what you have to do. And during the process of as we were getting laid off, I came across an article of a woman who was very organized and she would go into different companies and teach the employees how to be more organized.